How we doing on this beautiful 68-degree day in January? Little humid out, but very nice. I love it. Gotta love it. Well, we are working on the door, and it is challenging, very challenging, because this curve right here, the problem is there's two different bends and then a flare, and you can see how it's made from the factory. It's like crimped. I don't have tools to make that stuff. I got basic tools. I don't have anything fancy, that's for sure. And you know, I've gotten by all these years with doing it that way, but this is becoming challenging. So I had a brilliant idea. I have this Buick Grand Sport door off of a 71 Grand Sport, which the door itself is actually in really nice shape. But I tried to sell it once before and couldn't even sell it for $100. It's, you know, I don't know, some people want them, some people don't. Hinges are good. I thought I had a good set of hinges, so I might steal these hinges off. And what I'm thinking is, as you can see, there's one little rust spot there, but that's not a big deal. It has all this part. Now the outer skin is totally different, but all the dimensions and everything, it's still GMA body on the inside. So I believe, I'm about 90% sure, this part should be the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out large and then try to fit it in there. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what happens. Got everything coated with OSPO. As you can see, it's turning black. We did make this piece up. This came out okay for what it is. I'll show you that little V-notch. A couple little bends and tweaks. We'll weld that in there and put a little filler on it. And so just wanted to update you. I will show you once we get that cut out and try to get it fit in there, and hopefully it's not an effort in vain. I'm hoping that I don't destroy this door for nothing, but I mean, there's still a lot of good parts on this door anyway, so I can use it, and I've had it for at least 20 years, so obviously I haven't done anything with it yet. So we'll make use of it and see what happens. So here we are, a half hour later. We had to get out the spot weld drill. This is a great invention. I used this when I did the rocker panels on the Excursion. They're little drills and they go into an arbor right there, and so I had to drill out a couple things. So finally we got this piece off. It's not the greatest, but I think it'll work. How's that look? I mean, it's got to be fitted, of course. It's still got to be trimmed and cut, but it's a pretty good match. So I think we're going to go with it. We'll have to cut it up and get it in there so we can butt weld it. But I think we're gonna try to get that fit. So just wanted to update you, and once we get it fit, we'll show you. All right, I think we got the bottom of this door fabricated. We're very lucky. We have really good help today. He's been here, been very supportive all day. Of course, it's warm, so he's a team player. But so like I said before, we got this piece made up. That's got to be welded in there. We cut that piece out of the door and we modified it to make it fit in there. See? I still got it's got some pitting on the back side. It's not horrible. It's solid enough, but we're going to clean it up and spray it with some rust converter, respray that. And then what we'll do is probably paint the inside of that, just throw some black paint or something on it, and then we'll tack weld it in and then do our body filler. But all in all, still got a little tiny bit of fitting, but I'll do that as I weld. You kind of got to tack it and move it and bend it. But I got one little open spot there that I might have to put a little more weld into, maybe a little bit of metal. But all in all, there was just, with the tools I have, there was no way I was making that. That's got way too many bends and curves, and so that worked out good, cutting it out of the bottom of the other door. I hate to destroy another door, but like I said, I've had that door for years, and Haven't used it, so I've tried to sell it numerous times, and I'm sure that somebody wants it. You know, it is an original Buick GS, you know, Skylark door off of 71, but it is what it is. We're in Oldsmobile mode, so we'll get this all sprayed and everything, let it sit overnight, then paint it, and then tack it in. We'll show you once we get it all tacked in and go from there. Well, we got this piece tacked in now. It's a little ugly right now, of course. Still got to fill in a rod there, got to weld something in there. And like I said, it's tacked in, got to grind it, still got to do some more welding. But the concaveness of it, if that's a word, came out very good. It worked out very well. Got this corner tacked in. Like I said, it's ugly. It's still going to be ground, and then we got to do something under here. Still don't know what yet, but we're getting there, making headway slowly but surely. It's all coming together. But all right, we will show you once we get it welded in and ground down. So we got most of this welded up. As you can see, there's still some gaps where I blew through here and there, but the biggest thing is we got this concaved area that actually came out pretty perfect, if I gotta say so myself. I mean, the welds aren't perfect, that's for sure, but got a little more grinding to do. This whole bottom of this door on the inside will be urethaned with a urethane epoxy. So I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm going to tape this off for sure. These are the drain holes, so they have to stay intact here. And of course, all these little holes are where your felt goes for your trim, your sponge weather seal. So we got this all tacked in. It's not the prettiest thing. We ground it down a little bit. Still got a little more grinding to do. A couple places to touch up on some weld. This is behind the door panel. It's still going to get some kind of filler. This is underneath. The important thing is we got this concaved, curved area pretty much factory the way it was, which is great. It actually turned out very well. Got a little more welding to do in there, a little more grinding. And then over here, same thing. We got this tacked in. It's not the prettiest yet, but we kept the factory weep hole. If you see, that's a factory weep hole. We got a little bit of pitting in there, and of course I blew through on the metal a little bit here and there. The metal's, it's weird because you cut all the rust out, yet it's still thin in some areas, and there's nothing, you don't know where to cut to because you can't see, you know, you just don't want to keep cutting. And the problem is you have to retain this area here. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to, this bottom piece, we're going to urethane the inside of the door. We'll tape this off, basically pour urethane in there, and then we'll do some fiberglass hair filler. Of course, these are the factory weep holes. They have to be there. The holes are for the weather stripping. So that worked out perfect. The line for the weather stripping is all factory. So all in all, it's coming together, and we'll keep going on it and see how we do. And we will show you once we get a coat of the fiber filler on it, this fiberglass that, like I said, locks everything in place. So we'll get going here and show you the next step. So we got the piece all welded in, got one coat of the glass, fiberglass, Bondo, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, it's a short hair glass, just kind of locks everything in. Got one coat on there, probably have to do two more, but we got it sealed up kind of. And as you can see, I'm trying to leave the factory creases. So, you know, trying to leave all this factory stuff. A lot of people just fill it, and I am going to fill this bottom seam with seam sealer, which wouldn't be factory, but it does protect it much better. But all the factory holes are still intact. Like I said, we got to do another coat on that. Here we got this done. We also did weld in these old trim holes on both sides. Here we got one coat on here, retain the factory weep hole, which is very difficult to do because when you're doing stuff, you know, you just want to kind of fill it, but you got to cut around it and make it look like it's factory. Because this seam right here, how it's bent over, is the factory door skin. And if you notice, what I did was I cut like a little chase here to retain that line, and it'll still have to be more defined, but after the next coat, we'll put some body filler on it just to smooth it out. Like I said, try to retain all of these creases, because that's factory, that's what it's supposed to look like. So we're getting there. Got that one filled too. And then once we, I'll probably do the body work on this, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It is all hand sanded. There's no machine on this because of all the curves. And then, like I said, we still got to do something here. We'll take care of that. And we're making headway. Then we got to flip the door over and actually do the side that everybody sees. So all this work goes into something that you're not even going to see when the door's closed. But I know it's there, so it's going to be done as good as I can do it. All right, then. All right, so we pretty much got the body work done on this. We put 2 coats of the glass, the Bondo glass, and then a little skim coat of regular body filler. I might still have to do a little touch up in there. I just put some black primer on it, but you can see I wanted to maintain this factory line here. You can see it got the factory weep hole. It's not perfectly round, but they're not perfectly round from the factory. And then over here, still have retained all of our factory holes, and we welded in the trim holes there. But all in all, it came out pretty good. I mean, of course, that has to get top coated and everything. It'll get, and then like I said, I'm going to do the epoxy seam seal around the bottom, which isn't factory, but it will help make that a little more solid. And then, like I said, in here, I'm going to pour the epoxy resin. I think I'll get more of that tomorrow. I'll show you that when I do it, but right now we're time to flip the door over and actually start working on the other side. And that's the side that everybody sees. So, like I said, that was just the inside. But all in all, it came out pretty good. Looks pretty good. When you open the door and it's all painted, you're going to be hard-pressed to know that it was repaired. So that's what we're after. So, all right, once we get this flipped over and worked on, we'll show you our progress.